How do you determine what is appropriate to talk about when you're not around the boys? Sometimes you say some stupid shit that makes you laugh. I feel like some stuff is only meant for you and the boys to laugh about. Ever say some dumb shit around the ladies that would otherwise be funny to your bros? Where do you draw the line? Got any advice or rules of thumb? Knowing your audience is a key adult skill. I guess I just am good at reading the room. I can easily separate a round with my boys on the golf course from a date with my partner or hanging with my kiddo. If you're with the boys and you glance over your shoulders before saying the joke, that means it's inappropriate. If this is a question, you need to make your bubble bigger and include more different kind of people. Everyone has a bubble, but through life you make it bigger and add as many experience, understandings and kinds of people and places into it as you can. I talk to men and women about the same stuff and got no issue making connections with both. It's really not that hard. Clever jokes that are relevant to the conversation are great for all. Crude jokes that are about sex are typically not good in mixed company. Around women? In my experience, you usually want to keep it highbrow unless you know them really well and their sense of humor. No sex jokes and nothing too edgy. They'll just think you're a weirdo. Your casual normal conversation should be fine around just about any man or woman. Practice having conversations ideas. Topics where gender of the consumer doesn't matter. If you blurt out stuff that you're noticing may not be acceptable around women, even if it's just in your head, you should probably cut it out unless you somehow know it's okay to say. I personally don't feel bad that I don't always keep up with or contribute to a lot of edgelord conversations. I have better and more natural conversations with women, and get along better with guys who also have women as friends because of it. I just follow their lead. To be honest though, I worked a lot with ladies who were nurses, so they were a lot worse, darker, unfiltered than the boys. Lol. Don't say dumb shit around the ladies. For every woman that enjoys crass humor, there are 10 that will get upset over it. If it's sexist, it's not going to go down well. Otherwise, it's dependent on person. I have female friends who love a sick joke and guy friends who wouldn't get it. It really depends. Just say it anyways, see the reactions, suffer the consequences, learn. If you say it with the boys in private, you probably shouldn't say that in public. I don't divide by gender like that. Ever seen a crowd at a comedy show be divided by gender? What people find funny isn't really divided by gender. Now I do appreciate some dark humor etc. that is only funny to some people, in which case I won't repeat things like that to someone unless I'm fairly confident they won't be offended by it. That's really down to knowing the individual more than gender though. For example, I know both men and women who might laugh at an atheist's eating babies joke, but I won't tell things like that to someone I don't know. Common sense. Like I don't even feel I have to make any effort to act appropriate to the situation, I just naturally do it. When you're the quiet, reserved type, it's usually a lot of watching and waiting. Only speaking if you have something to add that you're confident will be received well, learning what is and isn't acceptable in the group from what others are saying and how they're reacting. If your boys find it hilarious, your girl probably won't. I hang out with some lewd women. Like I'm struggling to think of any joke or comment that I wouldn't make in front of them and coming up blank. Those are just the kinds of friends I have, I guess. Sex jokes. Jokes about getting your dick stuck in a Roomba. Jokes about huffing Freon out of discarded mini fridges. Eating ass. Terrible prank ideas. Stories about getting arrested. Butt chugging. We're all equally insane for the most part. Ever say some dumb shit? Who the fuck hasn't? Well-educated, highly socially skilled people And trained lawyers all have said dumb shit at some point. It happens all the time. In this day and age, don't say anything in a group setting that you wouldn't say out loud at work or church. If you know it will make the boys laugh, don't say it to anyone you aren't sure of. If you say something crude and they don't laugh, then be like, nah. I mean, imagine if I was actually like that? Then laugh it off. Personally, I'll make different jokes with different people because they have different senses of humor and different boundaries. Nothing off color at work. Maybe slightly off color stuff around mixed friend groups and very dark stuff around the boys. I tend to figure out what is and isn't okay around people. I have ADHD and had issues with my filter in the past, so I'm very careful nowadays. But that's the beauty of hanging out with my friends. They get me and I don't have to mask as much. Just save it for the boys? Man, just keep it clean unless you know the person. Also, unless you've known the woman for a while and she understands and is okay with it, do not make sex jokes or sexual comments. That's about it. Feel out where you stand with that person. I know women who will tell me their vaginas itch and have zero issues making crude jokes with me, and plenty of other women where I just talk about TV shows and nicer things with, just like with random dudes. All of the men and women that I spend time with have similar personalities and find the same things funny. I haven't hung around boys since I was in elementary school. Rape, religion, abortion, politics, environmentalism. Don't talk about any of those until you already know where everyone stands on them. Also, don't make rape jokes unless it's super duper funny. I was in an Uber just a while ago. He asked me why I was sweating so much. I almost said, dude, I've fried my brain from drugs, but don't need to know that. Tears of joy. Literally just knowing who you're talking to. Some chicks can be talked to just like some guys. Some can't. I just shut all of that down and roll with simple matter of fact or talking shop. I've repeatedly been reprimanded for puns or deadpan comments, so I don't engage with it at all unless it is painfully obvious. I have in turn gotten comments that people don't know me or that they think I'm unwilling to be personal, but I prefer being distant than walking on eggshells. Most of the funny stuff we find with the guys probably isn't funny whatsoever to girls. Unless you have that type of girl. In general, just try to act more mature in those situations and the right behavior will follow through. Sometimes there's an occasional slip up, but I mean, we're not changing our personalities and our views. Just keeping some things to ourselves. Nothing is inappropriate emo. In terms of inappropriate jokes, I reserve those only to my closest boys I know for decade. Everybody else gets the prim and proper gentleman, with a bit of fun side. I generally only hang around women who can take jokes like they take dick. I just push until I find the line, then dial it back from there. I don't make a difference. The way I am is the way I am, so take it or leave it. Divisive as it is, I don't need to look over my shoulder. Depends on the ladies, really. Things could be said to make prissy airheads mad. Things could be said that makes stuck-up bookworms mad. And tomboys will get mad and offended if you hesitate and backtrack and don't behave towards them like they are one of the dudes that don't require the same boundaries as other ladies. Yeah, you especially want to watch out for the rough girls punching you in the DK for trying to recognize them as dainty. You better not do that. Most of them like kick LLFK you up if you gatekeep them from jokes. Thinking face. I kinda don't think about it. You just talk about common stuff with female friends. I talk about mutual friends a lot more with girls than I do with the homies. My girlfriend doesn't like it when I talk about ripping ass, lol.